Hello, and welcome to episode 2 of my Kingdom Come Deliverance tutorial Let's Play series. This episode is going to be on exploring Skalitz and I'm just mentioning as many details that is important for you to appreciate at this early stage of the game before you start making decisions that you might regret. So, okay, let's first take a look, for example, of what I just said at this chicken coop. We walk closer, you'll see there's an option to open. Now, there's 2 items in here, but notice if we want them, we have to steal them. Now, it would not be advisable or a good idea to steal these items right now, because when you steal in a village or a town, it affects your reputation if you're caught. Now, at the moment, you'll see the Skalitz villagers I'm 100% reputation with. So they think I'm as good as royalty at the moment. But if I was to steal them items so close to my Ma sitting over there on the bench, there's dear old Ma, she's going to see me. That will then impact my reputation. Now, in this little village, once we've nearly completed it, we will then go around stealing like a lunatic. Everything that's not nailed down, we're stealing. So we'll come back to that and take that a little later. But I wanted to show you that so you know you can make a few, get some items out of that. Okay, now I've been picking lots of herbs. A couple of things I want to mention to you again, which is important for you to appreciate and get the most out of playing Kingdom Come Deliverance. I've been picking herbs. Number 1, I've got my first perk point in herbalism, so I thought it would be nice to show you that. So if I expand this, I've mentioned before that if they don't have a gold star, you can't choose them yet. So let's take a look at the first 2. So the first one that I can spend a point on is flower power. If you've got enough fragrant herbs in your inventory, you get a +2 to charisma bonus. So our charisma will go up by 2. If we go to the stats and take a look at the charisma, charisma is a measure of how you can impress people. Fast talk will get you only that far. Fancy clothes and ornaments can give you an extra bit of stature you need, which I mentioned in the last episode. Its total is the average charisma value of all the visible items of clothing you're wearing. Underclothes don't count. It's also influenced by how clean and dirty, which is what I'm going to get to next, or bloody your attire is. So it's worthwhile visiting the baths now and again, or at least having a wash in a trough. So, okay, that's flower power. It's going to give us 2 more charisma, and we now know that that is a good move. What about this horse neck? If your horse has enough fragrant herbs in its saddlebag, it will shy less, well, simply shy less. Okay, we don't have nowhere near enough money for a horse. No point in even choosing that yet. That will be the last perk we get. So we're going to go with flower power, because power to the flowers. There you go. Now, it can be sometimes that when you choose a perk, you will see the message failed skill. I'm going to do an episode specifically covering that, just to clarify and make it plain as day, clear about that. For now though, we have this skill. You can see it's turned gold, and you'll notice up here now I have the flower power buff, because I told you already I've been picking lots of herbs, and so I've got lots of fragrant herbs, which has given me that buff. So now if we go to player and buffs, you'll see that I've got flower power. You've got enough herbs on you to make you more charismatic impression. Down here you can see my charisma's gone up by 2. So there we go. Okay, now as you pick herbs, your clothes will start to look dirty. You can see here, it's not that clear, but they do start to get really dirty and there's sweat appearing on my clothing. Maybe I should let myself get a bit more dirtier to demonstrate this, but no, I will now go and show you how to clean yourself. You're going to come across loads of these troughs with water in them. You simply use them for washing yourself. Now, like the game told us, it's not as good as going to a bathhouse. A bathhouse is a cross between a swimming pool and a brothel. but you'll get very clean there amongst other things. This is just a wash tub, it's free, and it will clean you up enough to get you by. So if we press the E key, you've washed. Now if we look at myself, yeah, you don't really notice any difference, but trust me, it's made us a bit more. Actually, I should have checked the stats here, because that would have shown us. Our charisma's gone up one more as well, I believe. So you can see there, it's worth washing in the tub. Okay, now then, on to quests. If you press the J key, it brings up your quest log. And over here, you can see the main quest. You can get side quests. We haven't got none as yet, but there is tons of side quests. We're on this unexpected visit. We've got two objectives. Go to your father and go to the sword fighting lessons. Oh, I love the fighting in this. You wait, it's fun. So this is our first quest. We just need to go and talk to Pa. You can also track the quests on the map. So if I press the X key now, it will show us on the map where to go. Some of you will like that. Some of you hardcore adventurers won't. So don't use it. Don't do it. Don't press that X key. Just explore an adventure. But for the rest of you, if you press the X key, it shows you where you've got to go to get to that quest. You can see there. That's the sword fighting right here besides me. This is me, this figure here. Right besides me is Pa. So that's where we're going to go and do this first quest. Right, let's come out of that. Okay, so if we walk up here, let's have a chat with Pa. Grumpy up here.
What's the matter with you, Henry? Didn't you hear me calling you?
Persuasion. Sometimes you need powers of persuasion to achieve your goals. When talking to people, you can often choose what kind of impression you want to make on them. You can simply use speech, so whenever you see that icon with the face there, that's talking about the speech skill. You can simply use speech, which however is influenced by your reputation you have at that moment with the person you're talking to. So if it's someone very like your ma or your pa, you're going to be top reputation with them. If it's someone in the village who you haven't spoke to much, you'll have a lower reputation. It's all done on how well you know them. In the Middle Ages, social status was paramount. So the quality of your attire and how well groomed you are, together with your reputation, can make a big difference to how people respond to you. Which is why I mentioned previously about your clothing, getting lots of money, you can buy the best clothing, and etc, etc. If you look dangerous, people will be afraid to cross you and will also be more willing to assign risky tasks to you. That's influenced mainly by your strength and the deterrent effect of your weapons and equipment. But other things are also taken into account, such as bloodstains on your clothes. So like I mentioned previously about, you know, when we're out in the wilds, we'll want to be naked and running around like a lunatic. Well, you know what, we can go slaughter someone, get blood all over ourselves and our sword, and then go and do a discussion where this can be a good influence. Because just like it says there, the more intimidating you look, more ragged or just nasty you look, the more you're going to succeed with that. Next down, you can sometimes rely on money to do the talking for you. You just have to agree on a persuasion sum. Bribing people works in the same way as shopping. See, so we'll get into that. And in special cases, you can try any of Henry's other skills, e.g. horsemanship. It's not the only manner of persuasion that's important, but also the specific offer. So if you make an offer that's too low, they're going to refuse. And if they refuse, your reputation with them is going to take a hit and they will like you less. If you give them more money than they want, your reputation's going to increase, unless it's maxed, in which case you'll always be trying to undercut them. If you need to increase someone's reputation, though, you always offer them a tip. It's not enough just to choose according to your highest characteristic. So like that saying in the game, don't just rely on, oh, my charisma's maxed, so I'm just going to be always succeed. No, there's factors, lots of factors. And like it says there, you have to really read what Henry is going to say, otherwise he can make a right mess of things. Okay, now this is an important bit here. But different approaches work on different people. You won't intimidate a tough brawler easily, and no matter how well you dress, you won't impress the nobility, snobs. That's because Henry's abilities aren't simply assigned a universal value, but compared with the abilities of his counterpart. So you're measured against the person you're trying to fight or talk to. You can see the values of the various abilities in the game under the corresponding icons. You can always see your own abilities. Your counterpart's abilities are visible to you if it's someone you know well, or if you're skilled at reading people, learning the perk Empathy. Now, down the bottom there in the middle where you can see it says the level of your reputation with your counterpart. So at the top you've got your speech, you've got your charisma, and you've got your fighting. Well, at the top we can see that mine's 372. Now, do not rely on the fact that if you're in a conversation and it shows the crown in that conversation, that because mine is slightly higher than the one below, that I'm going to succeed. No, not at all. It's all them other factors. So it's trial and error, basically. You'll get to see how I make the choices and which ones. So sorry, this third one on the right is strength. I just noticed over on the right there it tells us. So you've got speech, charisma and strength. You can usually, as you get used to this game, you'll know exactly what choices to make, because you'll see it all makes such good sense. Anyway, let's come out of there. So you can see that we can see all my stats. I've got a +2 bonus to my charisma, so that's looking good. Sorry, I wanted to look around. So that's going to be a very good choice in actual fact. We don't know our fathers, but that's the one we will go with.
Sorry, Father. I was taking a stroll and lost track of time. Somehow I had a feeling I was seeing everything for the first time.
How, my boy?
There we go.
When
Success.
are you going to get
I
some
just got
sense?
a bit of skill on speech.
Anyway, we've a lot of work to do today. I'm finishing the sword for Sir Radzik, and I need your help.
With what?
I'm running out of charcoal. Run to the market and buy a bag from the charcoal burner.
I'll need some money then.
Yeah, that's the other thing. Kunesh still owes me for an axe, a hammer, and the nails I sold him a month ago. Not to mention his debt from before. Go and tell him to pay up, at least for the axe and hammer, and then use the money to buy the charcoal.
Kunesh? That drunkard? That'll be fun.
Well, you're a big lad now. I'm sure you can manage. If not, tell him that next time I'll come myself and personally use that hammer to bang those nails into his arse.
Sure I'll be happy to hear it. Is that all?
Not quite. The Chamberlain at the castle has the crossguard for Sir Radzig's sword, which I had engraved in Sasau.
You want me to go and pick it up? Alright. Money, charcoal, crossguard. Got it.
And ale. Stop off at the tavern on your way home. I know you'll be going there anyway to see that girl of yours. But make sure the ale's still cool from the cellar when you get back.
Her name is Bianca.
Right, so make sure Bianca draws me a nice cool one. Run along now, work won't wait.
Right, on that last subject of the ale, let's just quickly read that. Most of the quests can be completed in different ways. Eloquence will help you win friends, an inconspicuous person can totally avoid trouble, and if you'd rather not beat around the bush, violence can also be a solution. So, what it said right there is absolutely one of the reasons this game is so fantastic. Is it really that you really do have lots of different ways to complete different items. You'll notice I got a success in that conversation. That means that in my skills I got a bit of speech experience. There you go, 13. I got 13. That was I should have shown before. It would have been on 0. So I just got a hit on that, and that is how you get your speech up, through talking to various people. You're always trying to get a success. Okay, so with what it just said about different ways of doing the quests, with Kunesh is a fine example. There are at least 3 different ways you can deal with Kunesh, and I'm going to show you the best way to do Kunesh. But for starters, let's just have an explore Skalitz. Now, I've got my skill up with herbalism a bit, so let's show you. Remember before I had to pick each plant individually? Well, let's look, now that my skill is on Where is it? Skills and herbalism. I'm on 5. So let's pick this plant. There you go, look. Let's pick all of them there. Alright, there's one still left over there, but as my skill increases, the circle will get bigger. You cap, the skill caps are at 20, so once I reach 20, my herbalism won't go any higher. That's such a shame. I'm really hoping in the future they either make an expansion or a number 2, because this is just beautiful. Hey, valerian we're going to need for our Lazarus potion. When we get to alchemy, we are never going to sell valerian and we're never going to sell comfrey. Now, as a novice herbalist, you're going to over time get to know which herbs are important to keep and which herbs are important to sell. Now, at the beginning of the game, the world is full of herbs. You haven't got to worry, but there's certain places that certain herbs grow at. Fortunately for you, I'm going to show you the best herbs, in my humble opinion, and where to get them. So, valerian, whenever you see that, we're never going to sell it. We're always going to keep it. Unless, of course, we get too overweight. On the subject of herbalism, I'm going to show you something rather splendid, rather fantastic to do with herbalism, which is going to give us another buff, a permanent buff, which is going to increase our vitality, I believe. And we all know how important vitality is. Okay, crossguard is there. We won't... in fact, we could get it now. No, I'll leave that for now. Right, yeah, let's just get the crossguard. So if we go into the quest journal, you'll see in here one of the things to do that he wants is pick up the crossguard at the castle. So you can see we're there, may as well grab it while we're here. We'll talk to Janek.
God be with you.
And with you, Henry.
How are you?
Father sent me. We're forging a sword for Sir Radzig, and the Chamberlain has the crossguard and grip. Father had them engraved in Sasau.
Right. They're here. The Chamberlain gave them to us for you. We looked them over. Beautiful work. I've never seen anything so fine.
I can't wait to see the sword. Just make sure you don't botch it.
When did I ever botch anything?
Where shall I start?
Ah, shut up and give me what I want, or I'll kick your ass this evening.
Right away, your lordship.
Magnificent. Shame I can't keep the sword for myself. Well, I better go if we're to get the job done by this evening.
Godspeed. See you later in the tavern.
You certainly will. After today's work, the ale might even be on me.
So there we go, we got a crossguard. You see the update to the quest, pick up the crossguard at the castle, and that's done. So there we go, that's ticked off. Right, now then, to show you something very important to do with herbalism. If we bring up the skills and if we bring up the buffs window, notice the only thing I've got is flower power. Now, if you go picking lots of nettles, you will get a permanent buff. So let's try and keep a check of how many we're getting. So 6, we'll see when it's triggered. Nettles are such an awful plant. I never thought I'd like them. Okay, so I'm going to go now. We're going to go down into the town. I don't think I've got enough yet. 13. No, I haven't got... Oops. I haven't got enough yet. So we're going to find loads of nettle. Let's go looking. Usually along the roads, on the sides by the fences, is where you're going to find all the nettles. As we'll see down here in the village. I always try to sprint everywhere, because I want to get my vitality skill up. So here's Skalitz. There's the castle up the top there. Now, if we come over here, Lots of nettles. Oh, little delay here. You get this occasionally. There's so much going on in the world, and plus graphics are so gorgeous. Just going to pick a load of nettles. Right, let's have a look. How many have we got? We got 27. Is that enough? No, we haven't got it yet. Okay, so we're going to keep on picking them. There's low. Right, let's have a look. So we got 59 now. Oh, still not got it. I know it's before 100. There we go. Well, that's going to level. Let's have a look. So I've got 102. And there we go. Look at that. Up there. Resistance. That is what you get if you pick the nettles. So if we go to player buffs, you'll now see that I've got this. If you press the Q key, you get a permanent +2 bonus on vitality. And we all know how important that skill is. More running, because we're going to need to run lots when we come up against nasty people. We'll be able to get out of trouble. So there we go. How cool is that? That's why I call this village the training village. Don't leave it too soon. Train up all the different skills and perks that you can get. And I'm going to show you them. Okay, so we got enough of them. We got the perk that I wanted. Let's now carry on exploring. This herb over here, as you progress through the world, you'll get to know which herbs are important, which ones are worth a little money and which ones are worth a lot of money. St. John's wort is worth much more than the other herbs. If we take a look, I think it'll tell us the price. Yeah, so chamomile, you'll see, is 0.4. Dandelion, 0.4. St. John's wort, look at that, double the price. Also sage, look at the price of sage, 1.2 groschen. So, and the nettle is worth the least amount. But even that, if you pick 100 or 1,000 nettles, that's going to make you rich. But there you go. St. John's wort and sage are two herbs I sell. I never keep them. I keep valerian and comfrey, and nettles you're going to need to keep for the saviour snaps, I believe. So I'll check that. But the saviour snaps, that needs wine and 2 of the herbs. Belladonna and nettles, I believe, make saviour snaps, but we're going to get to the alchemy bench eventually. Right, carrying on. So that's information about the herbs. Oh, there's some valerian. Let's go exploring the town a little more. I can pick all the herbs off camera. Okay, so you've got a stock up here. Wouldn't it be great to see someone caught and then thrown in the stocks? Not me, of course, but someone else. And then we could throw a cabbage or 2 at them. That'd be fun. Okay, over here's the sword guy who we got to go to for the sword training. Not going to do him yet. Here's a charcoal vendor. Let's talk to him.
Greetings.
And let's trade. That's all he sells is the charcoal. I won't actually be using, although his reputation is very, very high, but it'll be the same with the other vendors. 94 on him, but there's other traders over here. Over here is a play die. We'll have a look at that as well before we leave this village. That's a game that you can play, and you can actually make a lot of money from that. The developers have given us so many ways to become rich. It's fantastic.
No.
If only it were like that in real life. Okay, so here's the little markets square where you've got traders with their stalls. You also have a merchant with his own house up there, which you can go and use. You can see a blacksmith has become available. There's a tavern over there where Bianca is, where we got to go. But let's have a look at some trading and some haggling. So if we come up here, and you'll always see guards with the merchant houses. There's guards protecting them. If you steal something, they're going to come after you and start killing you. So don't do it.
Hey!
There's the trader. Let's talk to them. Let's trade. Okay, so over here is all the items that they're selling. There's a mixture. Depending on the different vendor is what they will sell. This is a grocer. So they're selling... Well, no, this is just a general trader. So they sell a mixture of different items. Clothing. They sell Saviour snaps. Yes, it's expensive. Don't worry about that. We'll be making them and stealing them. We don't need to buy them. You never need to buy them. So this is good news with the variety of what they sell, because it means we can sell a variety of items to them. You'll see here this marigold decoction, which we can make very easily with alchemy. We can sell that for 19 each. So let's just sell these apples. Notice they've started to decompose. They're down to 85. So let's sell them before they rot. I know I could eat them, but I don't need to. So I'm going to sell all of them. I'm going to sell the chamomile. Don't need that. Dandelion. I'm going to sell. Now notice as I'm... Oops, let's just show. As I'm putting items into the basket, up here is telling me how much I'm going to get. So let's strip that back a bit. Okay, so for the apples, I'm going to get 0.2 for each one. As I've got 3 apples, he's going to give me 0.6. So now, if I add the chamomile, you'll see that that 0.6 goes up to 1.2 groschen. Next, let's do the dandelion. That's going to net me 20.4. And that's just for selling some apples and herbs. So you can start to see how easily you're going to make money. Bear in mind though, the trader only has so much wealth. Generally on a market stall they'll have 40 gold, sometimes a bit more. You will always get more. Traders will always have much more money when they've got a building, when they're inside a building. Next we can see our reputation. That's very good, so we know we're going to be able to do good haggling. So let's get to it. You click the basket icon to do the haggling, and down here, if you just quickly press the X key, you're going to sell your items. Don't do it. You've got to keep your finger down on the X key to haggle. So like that.
Let's have a word about the price.
If you want to skip
Sure,
the text,
why not?
right click and it skips it quickly. So with the haggling, haggling works both ways, whether you want to buy cheap or sell dear. You select the amount you want to pay with the W key and S key and confirm with the E key. The trader will then respond to your offer. If the answer is a refusal, he or she will make a counter offer and wait for your response. And over there it's showing you, I'll show you and make sense of this. If the slider can't be moved in one direction or the other, it means either you or the trader does not have enough money. So yeah, bear that in mind when you're selling and you want to do some haggling on top of that selling, that you make sure the trader has a bit of money left over to haggle with. As in, like, if you're selling 100 apples and you're going to sell them for 10 groschen, the trader's only got 10 groschen, you'll sell 80 apples for 8 groschen. That thereby you'll be able to haggle an extra 2 groschen from that trader, which will be his total of 10. Oh, there's the timer. Let's just quickly get this trading done. Dragging out the haggling with one offer after another will gradually try the trader's patience, and eventually they'll drop the haggling completely. So that is what you want to avoid. And notice the icon at the bottom there, as it fills up with gold, that's them losing your patience. You can see how close you're getting to that point from the trader icon below the bar. The more gold there is in the background, the closer the trader is to dropping the haggling. Every unsuccessful bout of haggling lowers your reputation with the trader. So be wary of that. But the good news is, by tipping them, by giving them a bit extra money, you can raise the reputation. Let's escape out of there. Okay, so there it is over on the right there. Now, if I press the W key, I'm going to give them a tip of 0.5 groschen. If I press the S key below it, that means I'm going to get 0.5 extra. So doing the W key is how much you're going to tip them, and doing the S key is how much extra you're going to make off of them. But bear in mind your reputation with them and some other skills. You can get perks to help you with this. For now, because he's 94, I know we can get a bit of extra gold. And I know if I'm successful, I'll get a bit of speech skill as well. So I'm going to go, I'm not going to be greedy, I'm just going to go, you only need to get the skill up one, so to only do it once, one down. Like, you don't need to do that much to get a skill. So we're going to do that. And I'll press the E key to make the offer.
What do you say to this?
I'd almost shake on that. Almost.
So they're not happy and they're not willing to do that. So you notice down at the bottom in that coin with the face, a bit of gold has come round. So what we can do, because, you know, I don't need the money, I'm only selling a few herbs, I'm going to tip them. That way, our reputation was 94. We're hoping to increase it. You can always eventually increase your reputation if you keep selling a few herbs and giving them a tip. So I'm going to do that.
Here, and something for your trouble.
Well now, thank you very much.
So generally what I do is I will keep... In Skalitz, it doesn't matter with the with so much about getting your reputation up, because eventually you won't be, the trade, everyone's going to be dead. I don't mean that to be a spoiler, but not all of them, but some of
Welcome,
them,
Henry.
this trader won't be available, so I'm not worried about that. The only thing I'm worried about with all the traders and NPCs in this starting village is getting all the gold, all the money they've got. So she's still got 60 gold on her. I will want to go around picking all the herbs from this village and get the remainder of that gold. So let's sell some more. Let's sell some sage. That's going to get 19. Nettles, easy to get. Sold this marigold. It is a. This is a lesser heal potion. We don't need it yet. Oh no, I've sold too much now. So let's go to the basket. Let's remove one of them. 48. Let's go back. Find some herbs. Now, I know I said I don't normally sell the Valerium. It's only in this starting village because I want to get all the gold off all the merchants. Once we get outside of this village and we can go exploring, then I will start keeping stocks of these in a chest. But for now, I'm just selling it all. I'm not worried about it. Okay, that's really all I can sell. Let's go to the basket. And I won't bother haggling. She's still not going to be happy, so I'll just sell it. There we go, and now I've got 72 groschen, so I'm getting money already. Anyway, the timer's gone. I did want to show a bit of haggling in this episode, so there we go. In the next episode, we're going to move the quests along a little bit, and maybe I'll show you them the other traders and vendors here. We'll have a quick look at them. Anyway, the timer went. Wherever you are in the world, God bless you, and keep every last one of you safe. Thank you for watching, and have a fantastic day. Goodbye.